Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is a special SSK 2019 lottery announcement. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. We are a little late this year getting all the information up. It happens. Thank you for being patient.
We said that, but I looked at last year's dates and we didn't even open the lottery till November last year.
Oh.
So
I feel like it's late.
I always feel like it's late, but we're earlier than last year.
Oh,
so
okay.
There you go.
I'll call that a win.
So SSK is our annual retreat. It stands for Super Summer Knitogether. And it runs in July,
It's
the third
usually
weekend
the third
July.
weekend of July.
And in 2019, I can't believe we're talking about 2019. This is going to be our 8th retreat, and it's going to be July 17th through the 21st. The shopping day, the market day, will be, what, the 20th?
The 20th.
Yep. And this takes place in Nashville, Tennessee at the Garrett Bennett Retreat Center, which has always been super kind to us. So those are the main things. We do both on-site and day pass. So people who don't want to stay at the retreat center also have an option to come. Approximately 100 on-site.
Yeah, the numbers aren't, they're not sexy round numbers. So there's like 102 of one option and like 56 of another, or something in that range, you know. So roundabout, there's about 100 on-site spots and about 50 local or day passer spots.
Day pass spots.
Yeah.
So what's included in SSK? Let's just do a rundown of what happens per day first, because I think that'll give us what's included for the most part. So if you are staying on site, your hotel room for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night are included in the cost. Wednesday, we do our check-ins around 3 p.m.
And everything, if you are a day passer, everything except the lodging that she just mentioned is also part of your deal.
So the lodging is the only difference between on-site and day pass. So people tend to trickle in around 3 p.m. A lot of people spend that morning going to other yarn shops in the area.
Mm-hmm.
This year they went to Bliss Yarns, they went to House of Yarn, and they went to
Craft South.
Craft South.
Mm-hmm.
Craft South I always forget about because it's not a huge amount of yarn.
Yeah, it's more sewing, quilting, embroidery, crewel work.
It's Anne-Marie Horner's store.
Anne-Marie
correct?
Horner, yeah.
So a lot of people go there and then come and check in at 3. That afternoon we do cupcakes for everyone. People sit around and knit and hang out, and then we do an opening night extravaganza, where we have door prizes, we introduce the teachers, so it's just lots and lots of fun. You also receive a goodie bag on Wednesday that has approximately $50 worth of that's wholesale cost of goodies inside. You get to choose whether you want yarn or fiber,
or for a small fee we usually allow you to get both.
There's all sorts of gizmos. I have last year's actual bag with me. This was last year's bag. They all have custom artwork on them. Let me flip this towards the back so you guys can see. So that was last year's bag. And usually we do a tote size bag. I think the first year is the only year that we did not do like a tote size or messenger.
Actual knitting project bags.
Yep. But then they got too small for us to put all the goodies inside.
Also, I don't think that woman would ever work for us again after making 100 and something bags.
Thursday, classes start. You get one class included in the cost of the retreat, and you can oftentimes add another class. It's $50 per class.
If you'd like.
If you'd like. Our teachers this year are Maggie Casey. She is an awesome spinning instructor.
Yep.
You say Olga's name, because you just looked it up.
Olga Boraya Kafelian, also known as Olga Jazzy.
And she's got some really, really interesting classes on like 3-dimensional knitting.
Right, and different modular and negative space knitting. Let's see. I've got all this like handy dandy up here. She also does a couple of different brioche method classes and novelty cables, which is one I haven't heard of before.
So we decide the classes typically in May, because sometimes class instructors will add even more classes to their list of things that they
These are just
teach.
some of the things that they offer. We have not decided yet what we're going to choose for them to teach.
And if you know you're looking for something very specific, just shoot me an email. My name's Laura at TheKnitGirlls.com. And I take that into consideration when we select classes. We're also going to have Julia Farewell Clay, who does amazing color work and offers steeking classes, Fair Isle classes, Elizabeth Zimmerman's percentage system, all sorts of cool
combination
things.
knitting, which is one I would like to take.
Yeah.
It's the best of both the throwing and the picking world.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to trying that.
And then we have Tanis Gray, who I taught with at the Disney retreat last year, and she was so wonderful, and I heard such good things about her classes that we decided we had to get Tanis for SSK, and she just published a pair of mittens that's Charlotte's Web, and it's got the spider and the pig, and it's just so adorable. She also does some really cool, like, Disney Fair Isle cows.
She is also the author of 7 books.
Yeah. And she used to be an editor for Interweave at one point.
Yeah, and Knit One and several other online publications.
So she offers a ton of different stuff, including color theory, Fair Isle, mosaic knitting, lace and beaded lace, chart reading, so a bunch of different things. So we're super excited to have all those teachers. I'm super excited. I'm going to try to sneak into as many classes as I can, like I always do.
So, like Laura said, you get one class included with the cost of the retreat, and you can choose whether or not you want to add more. There are 4 class sessions. There's a 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. and a 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on both Thursday and Friday. But even if you want to fill all those 4 classes, the teachers have limits on the number of people that they can allow in their class, because if they've got 50 people in their class, then they cannot reasonably be expected to get through 3 hours worth of information.
So most people do around 15.
Yeah, 15 to 20 depending on what they're teaching. So
that gives us a limited number of spaces.
Right.
I do all the classes, so I'm the person you can yell at.
Yep.
But what I do is you select your first choice class, and typically if you fill out the form in a timely manner, like by the time that it's due, you get your first choice class.
Now, and this is all like next spring information.
Yes.
We at the time that you enter the lottery, we're not going to let you choose classes.
We wait till, because people drop out.
Right,
we
life
wait till
happens.
it gets firm.
Right.
Firmed out. So usually this happens around June 1st.
Yeah.
And people select their first choice, their second choice, their third choice, and their fourth choice, and how many they would like to take. And I try to fill as many people's first choices as possible. Usually it's 100% of the people who turn in the form.
By the date, which you usually get at least a week, but it's more like 2.
And you usually get a warning email from me if you haven't filled it out, or a text message if I have you on my phone.
Yeah.
And then once I fill all those first choice, if there's like 4 more spots in a class, then I go to people who have it second choice, and I just random number generate those people in. So that's how classes typically work. Thursday, there's the 2 class sessions.
With lunch from 12 to 1:30.
Yep. So breakfast, class, lunch, class, snacks during the second class.
In the late afternoon.
And then that night we are going to do the try it on room. That's a difference from last year. Usually we've always done the tasting room that night. But we got to talking, and we typically put the equipment that's being used for classes in the tasting room. And then it's just a real rush for us to try to get that equipment back ready to go for classes the next day. So the other Friday looks like breakfast, which is provided, class, lunch, which is provided, second class, snack during the second class, and that night will be the tasting room where you get to try all different types of equipment.
Yeah.
That also gives us more time for us to get sweaters and stuff back to the people from the try it on room. That gives us a little bit more time for that stuff to find its way back.
We had a little mini issue this past year where we've been doing these for 5 or 6 years, the try it on room. I don't remember if we had it the first year.
No, I think we had it at the second.
But
we did the David Bowie movie the first year.
Labyrinth, yeah. and we've never lost a garment until this year. And it wasn't lost, it just got stuck in a bag it shouldn't have been in, so it took us a few days to find it.
Yep.
But this will also help us, give us time to find anything if it gets put somewhere it shouldn't have been.
Yep, definitely. So try it. Tasting room Friday night. So you'll get to try drum carders, wheels, looms. I think last year we had 100 different needles.
With spindles, swifts, and winders.
Yeah, and they're set up all the time.
Yeah, just all sorts of equipment.
Pickers. Oh, what else?
Blending boards.
Yeah, the blending boards, the Addy Express circular knitting machine, all sorts of different stuff. Basically,
it's a way for you to try out all this cool stuff with zero sales pressure, because we don't sell any of this stuff. You know, it's either equipment that belongs to another attendee who's offered to let it, you know, participate in the event, or we own it because we purchased it, and we're not dealers of any product.
Yeah, I think last year we had around 30 different spinning wheels for people to try, which was really, really cool.
So this way you don't feel pressured to buy something. You can just try out. You can spend 3 hours playing with wheels and no one will yell at you.
And usually, like, Two Guys provides free fiber and some other cool stuff, so you get to try different fibers and yarns as well. Mm-hmm. Saturday is the market. We're going to actually open it an hour early to attendees this year.
Yeah, so in the past, market has opened from 10 a.m. to noon for attendees, and then from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. for both attendees, and for $5, anyone who is in the area and wants to come and shop can come for a $5 charge. And you get a little gift with your...
if you're an attendee, you get a shopping bag.
Right, a personalized, well, not personalized.
An SSK shopping bag.
Branded.
If you're one of the first 200 people who come in the afternoon, then you'll also get a shopping bag.
Yeah.
But it's only for the first 200. That way we don't buy so many shopping bags and just sit on them for forever.
We ran out last year for the first time.
Yeah.
And there were some sad people. I get that. We just didn't expect the number of people that we had last year.
Which is great. It's great that we had that many people in the market.
Yeah, Laura recommended opening up market a little bit earlier, so it'll be from 9 to noon for attendees, which I think will be better. There'll be less, like, insanity.
There'll be less people queued up, probably. Yeah. Because you're still going to go to breakfast.
Right.
And all that jazz, and that'll give you some time. What I love about market is going in and shopping, and then coming out and seeing what other people buy, and then going back in and shopping some more. So it allows for that a little bit more.
Not that we have any experience with that.
It also allows you to sit and be like, okay, I saw that sweater in the try-it-on room. Let me actually buy the pattern on Ravelry, download it, and see exactly what I need.
Right.
So that's fun too. Saturday morning, there's breakfast included, lunch like usual. It does get a little bit busier because we buy lunch for the vendors.
Yeah, that is something that is, I don't know if other retreats do this or not. It's been a while since I've been to a different retreat, but we actually shut down the market from noon to 1 p.m. You cannot shop during that time. The vendors, we send them off to go and get a meal.
And all our attendees to get a meal as well. But just to give them a break to potty and everything else without having to get other people to try to cover their booths.
Right.
And then market in the afternoon opens. There will be a small snack that day. And then that afternoon, that evening, is the closing reception where we always have tons more
it's like
door prizes to give away.
2 hours of door prizes, it feels like.
And then Sunday morning, breakfast, and that's it. You're on your way. One cool thing that's also going on at the same time this year as SSK is there's a natural fiber extravaganza put on by an alpaca organization. And so that's actually going to be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So people could jet over there and do some yoga with alpacas or whatever else they offer at that festival.
They have a shop and a fleece show and other things as well. We'll talk more about that as the event gets closer and we find out more details. Just some points of interest. Laura's already gone through the schedule of events. It's pretty standard throughout the years. The only real change this year is we're switching the try it on and tasting room nights, and we're allowing an extra hour at market. Everything else is pretty much the same. For anyone who has not been before who's interested in coming, the on-site rooms, the site is called the Scarrett Bennett Center, and it's in Nashville. You can Google it. And
it's near Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it used to be a theological seminary, so it used to basically be a college for ministers. With that in mind, the rooms are very basic. The rooms have, a bed, linens, air conditioning,
towels.
Yeah, there's no television. You do have Wi-Fi free. There's no charge for that. And the way that the rooms are set up is there's 2 rooms, each with a bed and like a desk and a closet, basic stuff, and they're connected by a bathroom. So there's a bathroom that's shared by 2 rooms on either side. Like I said, rooms are very basic, but they've always suited our needs just fine, because you're not going to spend a lot of time there, honestly.
The knitting lounge is open until midnight every night, and there's always people who stay till midnight and have a good time.
Yep.
And then it resumes being open at, 7 a.m.?
Whenever they open, the guard opens, yes, it's usually 7 a.m.
So a lot of times people are hanging out there. If the weather is nice.
Yeah, outside of all of the buildings, there's like chairs and tables, and you can sit around and chat. And like we said, breakfast starts at 7:30 each day. So if you're up early and you want to go ahead and get a start, you can just head on.
There's also cool things like the labyrinth and some other interesting things. And people walk over to Vanderbilt. It's an arboretum.
Yeah, arboretum maybe. It's got at least one of every tree that's native to Nashville.
So it's really, really an interesting place as well. And there's a Starbucks around the corner, which is very important to my sanity during SSK, because I will order on my phone on my app and then send Mama Linneman usually. I don't know what I'm going to do this year because Mama Linneman's not going to be there.
We always have people say, "Can I get you anything?" And that's super kind. Not necessary, but super kind.
And I'm like, yes, go pick up my coffee. Yeah. Usually I say Gwen. We have a helper, Gwen, and a helper, Sarah, who always come. And if we're not available, they're always available to help as well.
All right.
Other things. We haven't talked about cost yet.
No, and I think that's the last bit. Let me just make sure. Money's always the boring part. So, yeah. So cost is the last thing that we need to talk about. Last year, the prices had gone up a little bit because of the cost of the meeting space, and rooms went up a little bit. They hadn't changed since like the second year. So it was nice that they held out that long for us, but we had expected it. We knew it was coming. So they went up this year a little bit because the cost of food has gone up a little bit. The catering.
Snacks especially have gone up dramatically, as opposed to the last few years.
That's another thing that they've been holding out on, like old costs as long as they could, because it sounds kind of conceited to say this, but they really love our group, a lot. And I asked Melissa and Doris once, why that was, like, because they have a lot of groups in there, and she said that it's mostly because, other groups come for a work convention or something like this, and, they're there and they're polite, but our group is always so full of joy, because there's shopping and there's yarn and there's people and there's friends and there's gadgets.
And they're always super nice to the people who work there as well, especially the chef.
Yeah.
We do accommodate, that's one thing we didn't mention, we do accommodate all sorts of food allergies. She's great at working on that. I know she's done gluten-free, paleo.
We have had some people with some very unique things who are allergic to certain types of fruit but not others.
Vegan.
Certain types of seeds but not others. Like, she's never had a problem accommodating any of the requests. The chef makes wonderful
we
food.
had someone who is vegan and gluten-free.
Yeah.
And she was awesome with that. So she makes sure that everyone gets fed a good meal.
So with that in mind, the costs for this year, for an on-site spot, it's $700. Again, that includes lodging, 2 meals plus a snack every day. a goodie bag, entrance into the market, and entrance into all the other, try it on, tasting room, and all that stuff. So that's $700. And then for a day pass spot, it's $425. So it went up by $25, both day pass and on-site spot. It went up exactly the same.
Because it was food costs, and they both get food. So
the deposit, if you put your name in the hat, and random number generator decides that it likes you,
we'll let you know by November 16th.
Either way. If your number isn't selected by random number generator, so yeah, I guess we should talk about that. Lottery, the way that we do, I feel like I'm just putting words out there and the sentences aren't together at all. So the way that we do entrance into SSK is we've always been very lucky in that we've had more people that want to come than we have spots. Some years it's several fold more people. And because of that, the only really fair way that we know to do it is a lottery system, because then everybody's odds are equal. So you put your name in, it's open for 2 weeks, that way everybody has time to put their name in the hat, and then we use a random number generator and we just pull numbers over and over until we get the number of people that we have space for. If your number doesn't come up in the initial drawing, then we put you automatically on the wait list.
Unless you tell us you don't want to be on the wait list.
We'll take you off if you don't want to. But we do pull from the wait list all year. And then usually,
as soon as the spot opens, we usually pull. And
then usually in late May or early June, we normally have somewhere between like 2 to 6 spots.
We didn't this past year, though.
Right. We usually have some spots open. At that point, we'll email everybody on the wait list and we'll say, okay, we're going to open these spots at this time, at this hour. The first X number of people that are already on the wait list can claim a spot. Because
and it's first come, first served at that point.
Yeah, but that's the only time. Because normally if we pull your name from the wait list, we email you, we give you, a couple of weeks to send in the deposit. Or, if you contact us back and we work something out, then that's fine. But we usually give you a couple of weeks to get back to us. But, at the end of May and the early part of June, we really need to fill those spots.
Yeah, we don't have a couple weeks to give.
So, anyhow, I think I'm maybe over-explaining
So we talked about how much day pass is?
Yes, day pass is $425. On-site is $700. The deposit for both of those, non-refundable. It's the only part of the fee that's non-refundable, assuming that you cancel within the time frame that's
up until the last month.
Right, which that's all in the acceptance email, so I'm not going to go through that. But the deposit is non-refundable, and that's $125.
And that's only if you get in.
Yes.
And you say, hey, I want to come.
Right. And we'll pull names somewhere the week of the 12th, so between the 12th and the 16th of November. And we'll email you, and at that point you have a month. You have until the 15th of December to send in the deposit, and then all the rest of the payment dates will be on the lottery entry form, so you'll know ahead of time whether or not you can make those dates.
But it's nice if you guys would check to make sure you can get off work before you enter the lottery. That way we don't have a lot of times with that first pull, we'll pull someone's name and then they're like, oh, never mind, I can't get off work.
Yeah.
If you could check on that before you enter the lottery, that would be swell.
That being said, life happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you find out that your only kid's getting married that weekend, or, your husband surprises you with an anniversary trip, or,
You still have that month and a half.
Yeah.
A month before you have to pay that deposit.
And if we're able to fill your spot, then you get your refund minus the $125 deposit. We try to be as understanding as possible. We're not in this to make $1 million. That we would be failing miserably if we were in this for the money. But it's a really good time, and if you're interested, I hope you'll put your name in. It's something that we do get asked a lot is...
Those two things are not attached anymore.
No, they're not. Laura's cable came off the end of her nail.
But I noticed before I got to that point.
At least it's an interchangeable, and it's, designed to come apart, at least, even if it's not right now. Something that we get asked a lot is, I want to come with my friend, or my mom, or my sister, or what have you. And while we definitely want to accommodate that request, we can't let that change the odds of everybody else. So everybody goes into the lottery individually. If you get picked and your mom doesn't, or your friend doesn't, or whatever, they go on the wait list, and hopefully, odds are, hopefully they'll get picked. Especially if it's somebody who can come last minute, odds are pretty good. So
yep.
Just putting that out there, there's no way that we can say, okay, if X gets picked, then Y gets to come as well. There's just no logistical way to make that work for us.
Yep.
And that's it, I think.
You can always check out the SSK board on Ravelry. It's a Super Summer Knit-Together board. We do knit-alongs there. We do random drawings there. I have an interesting idea for something to do there as well.
Okay.
It's also where you can earn door prize tickets for the event and some other things.
Yeah,
so.
And we have some people who've been several years, and so if you have questions and Laura and I aren't available to answer them right then, you just ask them on the board, and odds are somebody can answer them for you really quickly.
Yep. Although now that we are gearing back up, I'll be paying a lot more attention to the board.
Yeah. As ever, if you have a specific question that we have not answered,
you can always email us.
Either one of us, Leslie at TheKnitGirls with 3Ls.com, or Laura at TheKnitGirls.com with 3Ls. Either one, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do all the back end stuff to the video that we have to, and then put it up, and then I'm going to open the lottery entry so people will stop asking, because I promised them it would be today, and dang it, it will be today. It'll just be at the end of the day today.
There you go.
So thank you for your patience. I hope that you guys put your name in, and I hope the random number generator odds are in your favor. And with any luck,
hopefully
we'll see you
at SSK. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.